Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Master of the Covenant. Breaker of the Seven Seals. Welcome. Small adjustment here. No, that's not right. There you go. Not quite. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Make a small adjustment here. Okay, that's a little better. A little better. Okay. Okay, that's a little better. Brothers and sisters. War. That's a topic for presentation today. The Holocaust. What is the Holocaust? 500 years of horror that was inflicted upon us, which they call slavery. Slavery was the economic side of it. But as it says in the Abrahamic Covenant, that you don't hear anything from Lion Farrakhan about, it says enslavement, servitude, and affliction. They don't want to talk about the affliction part, but now they're experiencing the consequence of that affliction. And that's what we're going to talk about, brothers and sisters. That's all we're going to talk about. Because everything I'm talking about now is primarily the basis, the cause of it, the consequence of the Holocaust. Aside from some other things, because they bring it down the entire impact of all they've been doing for the last 500 years, all the injustice and everything else, but primarily the Holocaust. That's the core of it. But the going around and invading countries and raping the people and taking countries and genocide, all those things incorporated in it. But the Holocaust at the root of it. So what you're going to be experiencing in the next few days, brothers and sisters, some of you are going to experience it very intimately, close up, and personal, is a result of the Holocaust, the consequence, because no one ever escapes consequence. They're giving this false idea, narrative about, oh, if you're Christian, all you got to do is repent and say, I love Jesus, and all of a sudden, all things wiped away. Okay, you hang with that. We sure will hang with it. We're going to move on, brothers and sisters. The Holocaust. War. Even a blind person can see war is imminent. They're talking about it every day now, all over the internet, everywhere. In the news, even they've been hiding from the American people here in America for the last few months, but they've been talking about it openly over in Europe. Vladimir Putin is actually threatening war. Nuclear war. Right? You have the Pope saying the world is already at war. This is the Pope, right? If we're putting credence on what he's saying. But your lying, anointed Farrakhan is quiet. But he's supposed to be telling all these things. Remember, when Kobe came in, he was here up Kobe's ass. See, he had nothing to say. He spent 3, 4, 5 hours of this so-called Savior Day. Didn't mention it one time. And now he claims, oh, well, it wasn't a public notice. Yes, it was. I've been talking about it for years. And it was public known in January, but he was on in February. End of February, mind you, 2 months in, he still hasn't mentioned. He waited 7 months later, he knew all about it. He's not talking about this because he doesn't know. One of the reasons why he's not talking about it because he doesn't know. See? There's other reasons too, but one primary reason he doesn't know. Other reason, he doesn't want to alert you to what's going on. That something's going on. See? So he's quiet. He's talking all this BS every week. Clown shows and everything else. And all the stuff that's happening in the world, he's not saying anything. Like I said, primarily because he just doesn't know. he don't want to get out there and say something, you see, and be wrong, because regardless of whether you agree with this or not, you may not listen to me, but they do listen. I'm going to speak about that a little more in depth in a minute. Listen, he don't want to take a chance. I might be right, because he got a lot of his people on the fence right now, because he's not getting any food nor meat, right? He's supposed to be getting spiritual meat. Future, tell him what's happening. That's what prophets do, and I am in detail. See, so he got hang on by a thread. So he don't want to say anything because he don't want to prove me to be right. That's one of the reasons why he's not saying anything too, because I'm giving details. He's not giving anything. See, but oxtails, he's giving you that. But he's not giving anything of any substance. I mean, with all this happening in the world, and he's, for the last few weeks, just bullshit. Faith. God's going to wait a minute, why do you have faith? He's supposed to be telling you what's happening. He's supposed to be preparing you. He's supposed to be preparing you. But now he says, just have faith. Just lock yourself in your secret chambers. Put away some food. If you follow that stupidity, he said, store up some food, and everybody's starving, eating their own children and their animals and everything else, and you sit there in your house unprotected, and you, even if you had some electricity, which you won't have, if you had it or had a way to cook it, you'll be on the menu before nightfall, or before the food gets cooked, because they can smell that food a mile away when everybody's hungry. Next other thing you tell these sisters, well, somebody raping you, kill him, kill him, kill him. See, that's what he's saying, kill him. Wait a minute, see, and he got him walking around, 2, 3, 4, like they in the army. That's one of the stupidest advice you could ever give a female. Because first of all, if he's raping her, if he got that far, that means she had the power to stop him. Because if she does have the power to stop him, then she wouldn't be in that situation to begin with. So you don't have the power to stop that fool that's doing it. So now she's going to try to kill him. In that situation, she's going to get killed. She's going to get killed. She's trying to do something stupid like that. How's she going to do that? If she got power to do that, she wouldn't be in a situation to be raped to begin with. So if he's in the process of doing it, that means he's overpowered her. So how's she going to kill him in that situation? So you got to think of that stupid stuff. She ended up getting killed. See, this is that fool, and you're the same. You get what you reserve if it's a fool, right? Anyway, war. And we're going to talk about that, but I have to be very careful, brothers and sisters. Very careful, because, like I said, if the man knew the hour his house would be broken into, he would not suffer house be broken into. He would do something about it. And I'm telling details. And so I've been very detailed about something I have not said, something I have said. And there's a lot of things going on, brothers and sisters. I'm going to talk about that, just thought atmosphere, because you don't understand. And I can't say some things openly. I've been telling you that. But I gave this idea. I said, what would be the cause of, I said they're going to war in Europe, but that's not what's going to trigger the war. So they're going to war in Europe. The war is just going to be triggered by the war in the Middle East. So they're going to war in Europe, but it's going to be triggered by there. But I said America's going to be betrayed because the European countries are going to turn on them because of that crisis, that situation of fuel. Now, you don't even know what's going to fuel crisis. I've been telling you that for years. Go back and look at my previous presentations. What you see right now, I've been talking about in detail, not watch the weather, for years. And you can go out on YouTube. I do not take and delete my archives, so to speak, like they have. They delete their archives. You can't go back in years and see the bullshit they've been talking about, right, about what should be happening now. And it's not. It's not for years. See? So I was talking about the betrayal. And they're going to betray America. The European countries that so alive with America will betray them because there's going to be a food shortage. cut off. And they're not going to suffer that pain because of America's adventurism and with Russia and Ukraine. Because I said America and Russia be against each other. I got the presentation out there. I said, explain thing about, I come with division. Mother against daughter, father against son, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law. And I said, mother against daughter is America against Russia. That's the scenario. And we see it. I told you the 3 hot spots would be Iran in the Middle East, Russia in Europe, and China and Asia. And those are exact 3 things I've been talking about. And then the alliances. I said that the Sunnis going to ally with false Israel. Abraham Accords. And now you got Saudi Arabia, right? So-called Saudi Arabia, right? Opened up diplomatic ties with false Israel. I said this, all these things are out there. See? I said China and India is going to start coming close together. That's exactly what's happening. They're going to join this SOC, what they call it, together. Right? So I call all of them. This is a scenario. All of them build up against America. I've had this for years. So here we are now. Now, the thing is that they don't understand. See, in Ezekiel, they got this thing in Ezekiel called, where Ezekiel says, "Oh Gog," right? "Oh Gog." Think about that. "Oh Gog, from the land of Magog." Where I heard it. Son of man, right? Set your face against the land of Gog and from the land of Magog. See, and the way he said it get all mixed up because we know Gog is America, those you've been studying, and Magog is Britain, and that's where America came from Magog. See, I'm against you, I'm put a hook in your jaw. And all your armies made them hooking them or guided right into their destruction. That's what's happening. Because and you see, I said the crisis is going to be fuel. And I give more detail because I'm not going to that right now, brothers and sisters, because we wanted them to use that fuel because when they get out of the ground, let's not store together. See, we're way ahead of them. We're fighting in the thought atmosphere, we're way ahead of them. And so, because I told them that, right, that's what we kill, because you think, they're not paying attention, but they are paying attention. So they thought, oh man, we better fix it so they won't be dependent on Russia. Because they're going this war, right? And, they don't want America, they don't want the Europeans to betray America for the sake of Russian oil, because they're going to be suffering. And they're going to say, hell with this, we're going to suffer because of America's adventurism in the Ukraine. And all we got to do is have Russia turn the oil back on. And Russia got a hold on us, right? Because like they can blackmail say, if you don't help me, then you're going to freeze it there because I'm supplying you all your oil. I said that's one of the scenarios. That's why I said I'm going to stop talking about if this, this happened, that had this contingency plan. Because they wouldn't blow up that pipeline to cut that off so that wouldn't happen. And I'm laughing, you know why? Because I said, I'll put a hook in your jaw and guide your instruction. Because when you did that, you actually dug a big hole in yourself. You don't realize it. I'm not even going to say any more about it. Except to say, what's going on in the Middle East right now? See, are these two connected? That situation with Russia, is that connected to the Middle East? Because now they think they'll get oil, right, that they was getting from Russia. They don't get that no more because that's cut off. But who's going to give it to them now? False Israel. Because they got these vast oil reserves they claim they found off their coast. And now they're going to supply them. They think, I'm not going to say any more than that except to say this, right? They knew the oil supplies out there back before they said false Israel. That's one of the reasons I said false Israel. I didn't want to say that. That's one of the reasons oil supplies were there. And they didn't want the Palestinians and the Lebanese to get that oil. They knew it was there. They knew it was there back then. They made those good with so-called House of Assad. Oil was right off that coast there. That's another reason why I said false Israel up. So they can get that oil. Because the massive oil reserve right off the coast there, that oil belongs to Palestinians. But now false will say it's ours because God gave us this land. God gave you a goddamn thing. But he's about to give you a lot of hailstorm, a shitstorm coming down. That's what you're going to get from God. See, they got all these plans. I'm not going to continue. All these things they be doing. That's why I set them up. They ain't set them up there and put all that investment in there for nothing. They stabilized the Middle East, one, and all that oil that was there. There's a fast oil reserve right off the coast there. And now Lebanon is, and then they're trying to destabilize. They already destabilized Lebanon, but they couldn't fairly do it because of Hezbollah and Hamas is there, so they couldn't totally destabilize them. That's when they tried to do it a few years ago, because they wanted to totally control oil. But Lebanon said, "Hey, that's in our waters." See? So now that they build that pipeline. Say Russia cannot. So Europeans won't be dependent on Russia now. Now they want. Say fossil fuels are going to supply it. See, I'm not going to say any more about that. Like I said, they pay attention to what I'm saying, but we got a hook in your jaw. They actually dug a bigger hole in themselves, hole in the ground than it was in before. But they think. They made a wise move because they said, "Hey man, see, they was trying to, like it says in the Bible, it says it'd be like a man on a cold night, 6 foot tall. So he got a 5 foot blanket, and it's cold. So he cut his head, his feet exposed. He cut his feet, his head exposed. So he can't cover himself. So he tried one thing, something else happened. That's what happened right there. It happened. That's what it would be for them. They would try to do this thing and expose something else. Try to expose something else. So like, the bear, they run from bear and run to the lion. They barely escape the lion. They run home, and then there's a big old python, gobbles them up. See? It says the Most High be laughing at them. Who is the Most High? You better look at the angel key, see what the Most High is. That's what it means. It's a geometrical thing. Who is the Most High? Look at the angel king. Say, be laughing. I'm having derision. How? Because I'm going to show you in a minute the thought atmosphere. War. But demons, they're the main target right now. They're quiet. They're quiet because they're in trouble. They're going to fall very soon. As soon as the war breaks out, they fall. As soon as the war breaks out, they fall immediately. Son of Perdition, Farrakhan, Legion, Chief Demon, he falls as soon as the war breaks out. And Lazarus raised. See? Oh God, oh Son of Man. See? Say to God. Say to God, right? Oh Son of Man, say to God. Right? I'm against you, God. Right? From land of Magog. Put a hook in your jaw. You're in your armies. And guide you to your destruction. That's exactly what's happening. So let's move on, brothers and sisters. Most I'd be laughing at them having a derision. War. Anybody, the black folks here, well, we're not talking about the demons, I'm talking about the Negro butts, they act like nothing even happening. I mean, in this eye of storm of hell raging all around them. But there's because they're protected. Okay? They're really protected. They're protected. You see, because they're going to realize the dream unless they just don't listen. Like a lot of believers call lack of knowledge, but there's some benefit in that too. But I prefer that they had knowledge. See, it's already been it's already been an eye of the storm because that's protection. But being ignorant in eye of the storm, that's not good because the storms don't stay stable. They move. And they move, then you're not an eye anymore if you stay in the same plot you was before. You got to move with it to stay in the eye. And if you don't have any knowledge, you can't do that. And that's the problem I have with that. See, 'cause I don't mind being in the eye of the storm. That's okay. I'm in the eye of the storm. See? I know when to move. See? But maybe the storm will move around me. Because it said, remember Joshua? You better read about Joshua. It says, God says, hey, don't worry about a damn thing. Don't worry about nothing. Because I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. I'm with you just like I was with Elijah. And nothing happened to Elijah when the jail didn't touch him. So I'm with you. Don't worry about anything. You going home. I'm with you. I got your back. So don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about a thing. You better read about Joshua. Hey, Farrakhan, you Joshua? Then how in the hell you get disembodied? How you get those pelts stuck up your ass and blow your ass apart? How is that protection? If that's the kind of protection God gives, I don't want them. If that's protection that God gives, what the hell is that good for? What the hell was that? As every man on the planet, that's protection? You want to be with my manhood? That's protection? What kind of damn protection is that? Farrakhan, you're cursed. That's a curse. It's not a protection. But you keep fooling those idiots around you. I don't understand demons, but the fools around you that keep listening, they're going to pay a price. They're going to pay a big price. And they're going to spit on you and shit on you before it's over. But it's still not going to stop them from going to tribulation. But they're going to curse you to your face before it's over. Because you are manifest to anybody that's got eyes. Joshua said, Joshua, I'm with you. Don't you worry about nothing. Not worry about a thing, because I'm with you. Read it. There ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I'm with you all the way. I got your back. Master Muhammad has my back. I ain't worried about nothing. Nothing. Do you see me worrying? I ain't worried about nothing. So let's talk about a couple of things. I'm going to kind of build this up a little bit here. See? I want you to understand about spheres. Because the earth is made of spheres. But how do those spheres come about? They didn't come naturally. We made those spheres. Because in those spheres, there's different things there. Some of the spheres has precious metals. Some have precious jewels. Precious stones. They have all kinds of things that these people don't even aware of. See? They have all kinds of things we did because we should be in the center there. As we made our way to, it says, make on the cream of the planet Earth, God, universe. We made the earth. We didn't create the earth. We made it. Then we gave it form. See, we give things form. We give energy form. And we give the earth the form it has. And so we started digging down in there because cave, we never gave an ability to go far into the earth. Maybe a mile or two. 6 at the most. I'm pretty sure they haven't got that far. And the earth is approximately 4,000 miles in radius. That means from the center to the surface. That's approximately 4,000 miles. Then like 6 miles, that's nothing. Because you go down under there, like the Quran says, it's gold and silver, diamonds, big as houses. And that's what we're going to do to build with. Not like this stuff they build with. We'll build gold and silver and diamonds and precious stones. That's what it says in Angel, right? It said the Jew, right? It said, right. It talks about the kingdom and it talks about in terms of stones, precious stones and things. Because we're very rich people. A kingdom that will never be destroyed to give to another people. Perfect kingdom that Suleiman has to bring. He's the one that produce that perfect kingdom. Then he gets to Master Muhammad. Look at Ancient of Days. That's why I'm not tolerating any bullshit. You know, you got to be 100%, or you better back off and get out of the way. I'm not going to give a faulty product. You look at the creation, there's no fault in the creation. How did you get that way? Not with no Negro stuff. They made Negroes. See, we cure Negroes if they can be cured. But they made them. We don't want them. Not in that form. Hope you understand, bro. So we got these different layers, different spheres. You call them spheres. We have a name for all those different spheres. I'm not going to right now. But you can go into Google and show you names for different spheres. And they think they know it's no spheres. They think. I mean, this is a guess. Because they use like sonic waves and all that kind of stuff to try to, you know, and nano waves and all that kind of, I mean, what they call them, you know, all these kind of stuff. The nanoparticles, not nanoparticles, I forgot what name they call it. But anyway, they're trying to go in there get echoes and all kinds of stuff, trying to figure out what's down there. They don't know what's down there. See? Because we do. And that's what we build with. See? Precious stones, precious metals, iron. Not iron, but silver. When they use iron, we use silver. When they use iron for all kinds of stuff because it's not deep into the earth. See? But we use silver where they use iron. You have real silverware. Where you see iron everywhere, you will be using silver. You see copper in every place else, why be using gold? We go have great wealth. That means we have great wealth now. It's just the only point is they control the quality of it. So instead of having $1 million gold mine, they make sure we limit to buying $1 million shit farm, but still worth $1 million. We got to get away from them. Stop eating the shit and get the and get the gold. So here's another sphere. See, that's the oceans and the waters. That's a sphere. Animal life and everything, fish life and everything live in there. That's a sphere. See? That's on the surface of the earth. That's a sphere on the surface of the earth. See? Above the other spheres. That's a sphere. And each sphere has an action rate. A reaction rate, I mean to say. Water has a reaction rate. See? Because if you throw something in the water, it has a reaction rate, how fast it takes to react. How long it takes to react. If you throw it faster than it's able to react, it's like hitting a solid. Because if you jump in the water, right, the water reacts because it produces waves. But if you hit that water fast and it can react, then it's like hitting a solid wall because can't react that fast. So it's like hitting a solid piece of concrete. That's why you see people jump from high, they get splashes like hitting concrete because water didn't have chance. The water couldn't react that fast to that impact. The same thing with air. That's another sphere. Air has a reaction rate. And if you hit the air at a certain, if you hit air fast enough, it'll be like hitting some concrete too. If it's fast, it can react. That's why you get sonic booms. If it's faster than it can react, then it's like hitting concrete because it has to react, so it's solid. So usually, right, it reacts quicker than water, so you hit it and you might feel it, but if you start moving real fast, you start feeling the resistance because you move. Your challenge is to be able to react until you move fast enough, and then you can't. It's like moving towards a big wall. It's hard to move towards. You move too fast, and if you're able to go fast in that, then the air can't react at all. But you're still able to go past it and the ability to react. So now you get a sonic boom because now you create a vacuum because the air couldn't react, but you forced. It's like taking a concrete and knock a hole in it, right? So you knocked a hole in the air because it couldn't react. It's solid at that point. If you move at speed, speed of sound. Speed of sound is how fast air reacts. If you move fast and speed of sound, air is a solid wall. It's a solid wall. So you go fast, you're cracking a solid wall. See? And the faster you go, the bigger hole you're going to make. Right? And then, by the time the air reacts, you got this big old hole, and how it reacts by closing together. And it closes together. That whole solid wall is solid, right? It's solid. Bam! Got a sonic boom. Clap. Boom. It's like a clap. Because it is a clap. Boom! That's what it is. See? Atmosphere. Each has both reacts. Same thing in the water. Same thing in the earth. Solid. Right? See? It reacts, but if you move faster, then it becomes even more, So now we're going to move on to the thought atmosphere. So that's the sphere you know about. The thought atmosphere. What happened here? Oops. Thought atmosphere. This is thought. This is a real sphere. See, this is the fear. Oh, hold on, back up here, bro. Since I went previous. Oh, what happened? atmosphere. Okay, this sphere here is, what you understand is all our thoughts are connected. All our thoughts connect. We're in the thought atmosphere. Even all the brain waves are connected. Even the animal, all brain waves are connected. It's not, you're not independent. All connected. It's a sphere. Just like all our air, we all be the same air. The only independent, I just be air, and we all be the same air. See, we all drink the same water. See, it's a thought atmosphere. We all live on the same earth. With the thought atmosphere, all our brain waves are all connected. But you didn't know that. That's a thought atmosphere. See? And we actually, the thought atmosphere is 24 billion miles per second. So if you go faster than that, you get a sonic boom too. You get a boom that, right? See, a mind boom, what would that be like? Anyway, because I thought, atmosphere, right? Bam, it busts your ears. If you was bad, it busts your mind. That thought would be so powerful, it blow your mind out. See? But in the atmosphere, it says that the Europeans, they'd be prince of the power of the air, because they're trying to master the atmosphere, the power of it. There's sonic booms, right? Radio waves, right? Atomic bombs, airplanes. That's the power of the air. That's what we're talking about. They're trying to master the power of air. And so war is like at that level. You see, if you had another people that live in the sea, their world would be on the water, like submarines and things. Their world would be like sonar and all that kind of stuff, right? So that would be their level, because they'd be mastering the power of the water. And the water has power in it too. They got submarines, a fish there. There's certain things, right? It has power. But the power of the air, that's what you're dealing with right now. We're dealing with people, they say they're prince of the power of the air. So they're trying to master the power of the air. That's why your TV, all that's coming from the air. Radio waves and that kind of stuff. See? But they don't understand the atmosphere. Now they're playing with, to some extent, with their media and everything else, but that's compared to if you're in the atmosphere, right? You walking around, and your main weapon is slingshots. I mean, you ain't gonna get very far. That's the level of your understanding of the atmosphere. And that was at a time, going 500 years ago, right? They didn't understand the atmosphere. They didn't understand weather. They thought all that stuff was like mystery stuff, like demons and gods and stuff was fake. They thought that was weather. That's what weather was all about. But now they learn more. Science learn more and more about it. Now they can make bombs and all the stuff they're doing. And like I said, bombs and something in my voice here. Bombs and radio waves and cell phones and stuff. See? Now do all that stuff they couldn't do 500 years ago, 300 years ago, 100 years ago. They started learning these things. See? Master, because before they was trying to master the power of the waters, right? Sailboats, so forth. Right? That's how they got around the world. Mm-hmm. So now they went to the air. Mm-hmm. And so they got little, when they was doing the water, right, they still had a little knowledge there, because they used sailboats and need the wind to push the sailboats along, but it was a little bit. That's probably most things they use air for, just for the sailboats. But they was mostly worried about water and stuff, water and land. See, but now they're doing the atmosphere, so they're doing a little bit though, because they got this propaganda stuff. So that's how they fighting on the atmosphere, But from my point of view of the atmosphere, right, they might as well be right here with slingshots. You understand what I'm saying? Because in the atmosphere, they're ants. They're ants in the atmosphere. They don't have the weapons for it. Like I said, if you was in the atmosphere and they come up with slingshots, there would be nothing because they don't have the weapons for the atmosphere. They don't have time. They don't have bullseye guns and lasers and all, they get wiped out. They only got slingshots. They have some knowledge of the air because but that's about it. It's very primitive. And so their knowledge of the atmosphere is primitive. With their media, their propaganda, that's the best they can do. See? So this is look at this. This is the atmosphere. See? It's all confused, all going all different kind of directions and stuff. Because they're all confusing. Because they don't control it. See? It's chaotic. They can't control it. It's like air. Right? Air, if you can't control it, it's just weather all over the place. But we know we can control weather. We can control it, but they can't. That's why it's all chaotic for them. So they don't have total mastery of the air. They have some mastery. They don't have total mastery of that. But that's why I call prince of the power of the air, not gods of the power of the air or kings of the power of the air, prince of the power of the air. Because they have a lot of power over air, they have a lot of control over it, they haven't mastered it. But we have mastered that because Master Muhammad has shown you. He's mastered it. He's the king of the power of the air. He's mastered it. His players, wills, they mastered the air. They do things that people can't. They say, man, one way they say, you understand, say, man, it's beyond the laws of physics. What they mean is beyond the laws of their knowledge of air. That's what they're trying to say. They're saying, you understand, say, well, it violates the laws of physics. It violates their understanding of physics, which is the power of the air. So he's the king of the power of the air. But it didn't say there'd be one that would be king of the atmosphere. See? Even if you say prince, it's still much more than what they are because they're primitive. When you understand what the atmosphere is, it's your thoughts. And it's all connected to the atmosphere. And there's pressure. And once you understand that dynamic, then you start understanding what's going on. There's pressure. We're all connected, so there's all pressure. So as the greatest pressure is going to dispel lower pressure. Greater pressure dispels lower pressure. Know how much lower pressure you have. You have trees of ton, square pounds of low pressure, and 1 pound of high pressure is going to move that low pressure. It's going to do it. It doesn't matter how much number it is. High pressure is just high pressure dispels low pressure, pushes low pressure out the way. High pressure doesn't matter. The numbers doesn't matter. That's why the Quran tells you that. Don't worry about the numbers, because it's all about pressure. The laws of pressure, that's a powerful law of pressure. So that means your thought, if there's pressure, your thought is greater than the thoughts around you. It's going to control the thoughts around you. It's going to command the thoughts around you. That's why truth knocks out the brains of falsehood. Truth dispels falsehood. That's why I try to kill the purveyors of truth. Because truth will destroy falsehood. Because right now, when Europeans, when so-called dark ages, when they went back to the scripture and started looking at science, it threw away all that stuff. You have them people trying, like when Galileo went to the Pope and says, look, the earth goes around the sun. And he said, look, I got a telescope, and just look. And the Pope refused looking at it. I mean, I ain't looking at that thing. God says, that's what it is. And God didn't say anything stupid as what he's saying. But he refused even to look. All he did was look to see. And then throw Galileo in prison. See, so that's the way they was fighting. They was fighting against truth. But how, now, where's the Pope? Where's Galileo? Everybody knows the earth goes around the sun now. Everybody knows that. It prevailed. Even though they fought against it. See? Because truth was destroyed. Falsehood, because truth, right, is pressure, but a greater truth will destroy a lesser truth. That's why you have certain knowledge, but if someone comes to superior knowledge, then they dispel your knowledge. And that's what it said would happen, because they have the scripture, but it says Suleiman would come along with an angel, which is greater pressure. It's thoughts. Because they have 2,000 years, couldn't touch it. It was too powerful for their minds. They didn't have the minds to do it. Only he was able to do it. Only he was able, worthy to do it. Put that away. Because he had to put the work in. That's why he was worthy rather than able. Because other people were able. All the original people were able. But they was not capable, worthy, because they weren't willing to put the work in that Suleiman was willing to put in to make it happen. And so what happens? Here's the atmosphere. Right? What happens? In 1990, he started breaking those seals. Right? So what? He's igniting bombs all over the place. Atomic bombs all over the place. See? Revealing truths. Now you might not recognize it, but it's affecting the whole world. Because your mind, even though you may resist it, if you hear the truth, your brain's still going to calculate it. It's going to use it to calculate. And you may be resisting all you want to, but eventually your brain will get around to convincing you, your consciousness, your conscious ignorance, that's ignorant, and you're going to drop it. Because your brain is made to calculate properly. The problem is, it calculates based on information that's been given. And so when you give it better information, it's challenging the bad information you've been given. Now you may be told to resist it, but your brain is not going to resist it. It calculates based on information we're given. And so when it conflicts, when the information conflicts, the brain's going to sort out. And eventually, you're going to find yourself like people, oh, now I was against that before I was before it. That's how people get converted. How do they get converted? Because eventually, the truth, right, was able to override all the ignorance they had, and then they converted. All of a sudden, now they got facts instead of bullshit. But that's sometimes depending on how much bullshit they got, because sometimes you can't clean. You usually have a time frame you have to do it in. Sometimes you don't have enough time to do it. That's like a whole lesson about the rusty locks. You don't have time to do it. It's just too much bullshit there, and they're getting better knowledge. But then you got people blocking the knowledge, right? We're going to talk about them, but you got people blocking knowledge. There's so much, right? So that comes in and challenges, and so the mind is turning around, but don't turn out fast enough to get the hell out of here. That's what I said. The 144,000, they turned around fast and they got out. But it said the rest was left behind. Some everlasting life, some everlasting apartment. So they woke up too late. Because they still get information. Because every day now you get more and more information, and you get your brain sorted out, and you find out that the information you're getting me, your brain doesn't, you might reject, your brain ain't rejecting it. It's so challenging against other stuff that doesn't make any sense. The atmosphere. And that's Suleiman dropping atomic bombs. See? In that, see, all that confusion. Remember that? They're all confused, chaotic. The atmosphere. That's the one they built. Because they're too weak to have one that's Hajj in sync, harmony. And then Suleiman's dropping these. Every time he takes, that's the angel. See, because that's the greater truth. And it's detailed. You never see anything like this in any prophet or messenger came along, the kind of details that Suleiman's giving you. And you write Muhammad to give those type of details. And every day it comes clearer and clearer and clearer. That means explosion is working, expanding. They're not being, snuffed out. My explosion is not being snuffed out. What do you mean snuffed out? Right? You explode, boom, be snuffed out because like Falcon, he tell a lie, then next day you find out, oh God, they couldn't anything about a man. Then 5 seconds later, you haven't in everybody's room, so you just snuffed out what you just said a minute ago. Just snuffed it out. You can't snuff out what I'm saying. Because every day, everything I'm saying is getting brighter and brighter. That means explosion is getting expanding. Boom! Boom! From sonic, boom! Boom! The atmosphere, boom! Boom! It's changing the world. Since 1990, the whole world's been changing. Anybody can't deny that. No one can deny that. Since 2020, everybody said now, 20, man, something happened in 2020. You damn right something happened in 2020. Your judgment started in 2020. 1948, man, that was a big turnout. Exactly. That's the time Antichrist. You know, these days don't, you know, these days is just somebody put out there behind. And so now, you're at the edge of destruction. You're going to be pushed off. You're on the cliff of it. You're going pushed off. There's nobody to save you. You're going to be pushed off. But that's Suleiman. See? Exploding the angel. Right? The angel verses. Unlocking the seals. Right? Taking all those verses, unsealing the Bible. Because that's what it is. The Bible, the sealed Bible, is an arsenal of atomic bombs. Arsenal. And the angel unlocks them, bam, ignites them, bam, 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 and that's what you see. And it's getting more powerful by the day. The explosion is getting more powerful by the day. See? And what happens? This is what the end result of it is. End result. See? Blown away, finally blew away that old reality, got a new reality. Harmony. Harmony now, no confusion, harmony. Okay? It's in the universe. Perfect balance. See, that's what Suleiman's doing. See? And God said, I'm with you, I got your back. Don't worry about a thing, I got your back. See? Once you get it in harmony, gives it back to the God. Here it is. It's all yours. See you in 72 trillion years. It's all yours. He come here to be worshipped. Somebody didn't come here to be worshipped. So hold on that thought for a minute, Bone says. Like I said, I want you to think about that for a minute. I got to check out something. And then we'll continue. And issue after working out here. Okay, I got it. Check one thing here, Ro. Okay, looks good. Okay, brothers and sisters. Let's see. It's the atmosphere. He has put everything back in sync. 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 So everything in perfect balance. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I want to talk about something else. Well, it relates to that. You know, I try to explain about how everything works. Right? Everybody gets a certain amount of energy, right? So say everybody gets 1,000 units of energy every day. Now, depending on how much you need, how much you get, that's the difference. Depends on your situation, whether you got disposable income or you're in debt. I'm never try to use it in that terminology, right? So if you make $1,000 a day, but you require $1,500 a day to take care of all the things you need, then you're in debt $500 a day. But if you only require $500, then you got $500 disposable income. You can save whatever you want to do with it. See, that's the difference between energy deprivation and ruling. So Adam was made less a stripped down version of us, so he only required 500 units a day. So he had 500 units of income, so he could do things. But we require 1,500, so we have 500 deficit. So we suffer energy deprivation. We lose control of things because it takes energy to have a family. It takes energy to have a farm. It takes energy to have everything. It takes energy to breathe. It takes energy to bat your eyes. It takes energy to do anything, any kind of movement there is. It takes energy. Energy to maintain civilization. So we got to the point we could not maintain civilization anymore. We could not maintain family, could maintain anything. And this situation remained the same, remained like that until 1948, where we finally got to the point where we had enough energy. We was getting we required 1,500 units of energy, and we was getting 1,500 units of energy. So we had enough to maintain ourselves, but not enough to do anything else. Not enough to maintain our own civilization, enough to maintain a family, or anything else. We just had enough to maintain ourselves. Now if we use it for that, then we maintain ourselves. We stay healthy, everything. But if you got deceived, say, well, man, I need a house, I need this, need that, then now you're back at energy deprivation again because you got 1,500, you need 1,500, but you're going to get other stuff that, so I mean, now you want to get the cars that requires 200. So now you only got 1,300 for yourself. So you're from energy deprivation to have that car. You want a house, that's 500. So now you spend 700, so you only got 800 for yourself, so you got energy deprivation, so you're suffering. But you got the car and you got the house. Understand, brothers and sisters? Now another way to look at that is, right? Okay, you got 1,500. You require 1,500, and he got 1,500. Okay. So go out and get that car, right? So instead of you get the car in the house, that's 700, right? But you borrowed the money to get it, right? So you still got the $1,500 for your health. Your health is good, but now you got the car in the house, but you got $1,500 worth of debt. See, so now your health is okay. You're spending $1,500 on your health, but now you got the debt, and the debt means, right? Now in other words, now you got to go and do other things, another job or something. So you got, in other words, so you was okay. So you got the car, you got the house, and you're comfortable, right? Say you retire, you know, you laying back kicking it, right? So you're laying back kicking it, and you need $500, you need $1,500, you need $1,500 a day, you got $1,500 a day. So now that's what you need. So you're laying back kicking it, right? See? Homeless maybe. Okay, you back kicking it, but you ain't got to worry about your health. You don't have anything, but you got your health. Then you go get the car and the things, and now you got a house, you got the car, but now you're suffering because you don't have enough to maintain yourself anymore. They say, oh, no, I'm going to maintain myself. So now you doing it, you eating all that stuff, doing to maintain yourself, right? So they were instead having yourself, you want to still maintain yourself, so it means the only way you do that is you got to borrow money for the car and the house now. So now you ain't cooking and kicking anymore. Because now when you was relaxing, now you got to go out and work another job. So you might have health, but now, man, you're tired because you got to work another job to pay off that $1,500 debt that you got. $700 debt that you got every day. You understand what I'm saying? Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. Let's back up on this. He's sitting out here, you got nothing, but you know, you're laying back, nobody's bothering anybody, but you don't have anything, right? But you have your health because you're using all your money, your $1,500 units you get every day to take and maintain yourself, right? So you say, "Mommy, he's healthy, man, but he ain't got shit, he got nothing." And so, well, I want the car and the thing, car and the house. So one situation is to do that. Right now you're not so healthy, but you got the car and the house. Now you got a place to stay. You got to get around, right? So another way to look at it is that remember you maintain your health. You're going to the gym. Use all the stuff you need to do. Remember you're using energy to maintain yourself. So if you're using energy to maintain yourself, that means the money $1,500 you was getting, you're using that for going to the gym, right? Food, all that stuff, right? Buy the right food and all that kind of stuff. You maintain yourself. You maintain yourself. So now you was maintaining yourself, you was going to the gym, all that kind of stuff, you had nothing. But you was in good shape, man. Look, he's buff, he's in good shape, right? They said, I want the car and I want the house. Okay, so now you got that. So now you ain't got so much money to go to the gym. You ain't got so much money. So now you're getting fat and sloppy and, right, and all other kind of stuff. Maybe got diabetes and everything else, but you got the car and the house. Or it's another possibility. You can say, okay, I'm going to take and what I'm going to do is I'm going to still maintain my health, and I'm going to get the car. I'm going to borrow money from the bank to do it. But I got to pay them somehow. So now you got another problem. So you ain't kicking back now, because now you got to get an extra job. So now your kicking back days is over. You got the house, you got the car, you got your health, but your kicking back days is over, because now you got to go work for the job. You know what I'm saying? So everything balances out. Everything balances out. See? So the more you borrow, the more you got to deal with other stuff, right? And it's hard to maintain your health. Because you maintain it, means you got to work harder, maybe 2 jobs, right? Because now you want a bigger house or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Everything has a balance. See? So look at it another way. You got $1,500. You require $1,500, but you get $2,000. Now you got $500 to work with. Oh man! See? So instead of that, what you're gonna get hard. Maybe you can build a family. So you got a family for the extra $500. You got enough energy to maintain a family, right? But then you say, well, got enough energy to maintain a family, right? But you want to start building an organization, all other families, all other families together. But take energy to do that. Take energy to do that. See? So you start doing that. And say, you got $1,500. You need $1,500, you get $2,000. So now your family got $500. That's how much you take to keep your family together. So now you got to maintain yourself, got to have family. That's it, period. Right? No car, no house, nothing, just enough to maintain your family. Right? So he said, well, I want to bring all the families together. I want to start a tribe. So it may take 3,000 units of energy to do that. But you ain't got 3,000. So you can do a lot of things. Remember, you got 2,000. So you can take and give away your health and your family, because you think there's greater mission to bring this tribe together. So now you got 2,000 units of energy, right? But your health is gone because you ain't doing the stuff that take to maintain health anymore. You ain't doing stuff to maintain flesh. Your family's gone, your health is gone, right? But you gain control of this this tribe, but you need 3,000 energy to do it, but you got 2,000, so now you got 2/3 of control of it, 2/3 control of it. So you got 2/3 control of it. Right? So you say, okay, well, I need another 1,000. So you go buy 1,000, right? So now you got to, now all the energy that you was using to control this thing, now you got to go and do more, because now you got to go out here and you can't go sleep anymore, because now you got to have another job to get the other 1,000 you need. Hope I'm trying to get a point. I'm trying to make a point here, brothers and sisters. That's why I call Suleiman the sacrificial lamb. Because some people think it's charity. They get charity mixed up. That's why the Quran tells you have to go through all this here to get something, because you're paying for something that you plan to get something out of. That's not charity. That's not charity. If you're trying to build your family, trying to hold your family, that's not charity. That falls in terms of Hajj to some extent. Because you're trying to control. Remember, it takes energy to control anything. So you're trying to control this. You're trying to control a family. You're trying to control a civilization. You're trying to control a nation. You're trying to bring it under control. Trying to get it back because you lost it. You have the energy to maintain a nation. You have to maintain a tribe, right? So now you're trying to bring your tribe back together. Trying to bring your nation back. It takes energy to do that, and so you sacrifice everything else to do that. So you sacrifice your health, sacrifice your family, and now you're going to borrow money from the bank, right? So now you got a negative balance on your. Right? You see what I'm saying? You got another balance now on your sheet, right? Your balance sheet, which is the same thing as negative energy, which is the same thing as bad luck. So in order to bring something good into existence, things good, you create bad luck for yourself. That's why it says, when they say, Lord, he's breaking seed, but he was laying the foundation of earth, because that's what it took. They say, well, he was running, because that's what it took. He created all that bad luck for himself because he tried to bring his nation together. That's why I call him a sacrificial lamb. That's not charity. It takes energy to do it. He sacrifices family, he sacrifices everything. And he got bad luck. He got bad luck in order to do that. Because he's trying to bring something better into existence. And at some point in time, right, you're going to get a raise. You're not getting $1,500 a day. You get $2,000, $3,000 a day. It's easy. But to that point, you're trying to do this because you're trying to bring us together because you know a catastrophe is coming, like Noah building the ark. You know, a catastrophe. You're trying to bring them together before the catastrophe happens. That's why I call it the ark. That's why Superman had to bring this together before the time of unprecedented trouble. It says, there'll be a time of Jacob's trouble and he'll be delivered out of it. You understand what I'm trying to say, you brothers and sisters? So that's what he's doing. And you don't tolerate anybody that ain't thinking like that. You can't waste time with them. Because he's on a mission. It says in lessons that he was back, this lion was walking back and forth trying to figure out how to get out of that cage. He had a time frame. He had a limit there. What's the keys? That's the rest of the locks, rather. So that's what he's doing. He's got to make this happen before a certain time. So he has to sacrifice everything. That's why I call him sacrificial lamb. He's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for his nation. He's trying to wake his nation up before the catastrophe. Like Noah building the ark's whole story about Noah building the ark and Suleiman, he's building his ark to save his people from the catastrophe that's coming. So he got time for bullshit. And bullshit artists playing games, push more bills and that kind of stuff, don't have time for it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Nobody said Superman had to do it. Nobody gave him the injury and said you got to do this and push him and tell him. He stumbled. I keep saying I stumbled across it, right? But the scientists, they already knew. They planned it. They knew I was going to get it when I got it. And no one didn't know about me. They said they knew I would do what I'm doing, but I didn't have to. There's nothing else scripture say I have to do what I'm doing. I can start right now There's no scripture say, well, it's bound to happen. It's written. Hell with that. I'll stop doing it right now. There's no angels on my shoulders. Ain't nobody on my back. Ain't no threat from seven heaven someplace saying you better do it. Nothing. If I sidestep, I just stop. Bam. And go about my business. And get rid of all this bad luck and everything, right? Because I'm trying to bring this nation together. So don't give me that bullshit that some mystery God or something is making me do this. It's my choice, period. My choice. Right now I'm making a debate with, I'm even going to mess with NOI. I'm not big, because I'm thinking, I don't even want to mess, everybody knows to pay attention to how I feel about that situation. See? And they wrote that I'm going to do that, and that's what they wrote. It's my choice. And right now, at this point in time, it don't look too good. Right? See? Because I keep saying, these are Levites over there. I ain't talking about our dead people. These are Levites over there. I'm saying, come on. I mean, what do you need to know to see that kindness, the demon? What do you need to know? And if you're still with him, I don't know why I want to waste time talking to you. Especially what you did to Elijah after he left. He raised the Levites. And what you did, how you bad mouthed and you did with his live falcon. And what does he have to do to tell you, Sherry? What you got to do, shit in your face? I mean, he's doing that already now. I'm telling you, brothers, I may not even do that one. Just hang out, go to tribulation blind. I'm telling you, my feelings about them very strong. I mean, I already told you the story. I spent 3 years in Demon Island because of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. And they matched from hummus, baby. Now I'm as far as I have to go with him, because as far as Master Muhammad is concerned, he ain't said nothing about I need to be actually going and talk to them. That's written, right? His point was that right, to go talk to Nineveh, and I already done that. Right? So let's move on, brothers and sisters. Where we at here? Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about this perfect balance. I think we're going to leave it there. But brothers and sisters, I've been a faithful one to you for over 30-some years. Right? But I'm not here to really warn you. What I'm here for here is take you back home. Get you back home. And I've sacrificed my entire life. Over 50 years, actually. When I went to look for Elijah, that was in 1969. Well, 50 years, brothers and sisters. 30-some years fighting this war, thought war. Okay? Because they can't compete on that level. That's what scriptures are. See? Superior thought, which is superior pressure, is greater than they can. See? But you have to use, I have to master that prayer. It takes energy to do that. To energy to ignite those bombs. And that's the energy it takes to wake up Lazarus. And I'm willing to pay the price. I'm paying it now. So not one good thing has come to me since I've been breaking those seals. Remember, bad luck. Because I'm generating bad luck, I'm using all my energy. So like I said initially, right? Use all your energy. That means you won't have no luck at all. Or use more than your energy, which means you create bad luck to produce something positive. If you want to put a greater positive, then you have energy to produce. I mean, you got to borrow. That's take away from yourself or your family, whatever you give up everything you have to get something else. That's what I've been doing, and I'm not complaining. I'm still doing it. Because I'm going to raise Lazarus. Once I raise Lazarus, right, I got a couple more things to do. And then I'll pass it all over to Master Muhammad. This is all he is there. Not my worries anymore. Except I'm going to be watching out for those sisters. I committed that. You can get that's guaranteed. I've always been looking. See? As long as the sisters are committed, right, to our nation, which they have been, they already showed their commitment. And anybody, how can you doubt these sisters' commitment after what they did with the Holocaust and we're still here? If it wasn't for them, we would not be here. There wasn't no God, disregard anybody around there. The fact that we cannot doubt their commitment or we would not be here right now. Because they could have said, hell with y'all niggas. Man, y'all represent, we getting raped and y'all ain't doing nothing. If they said, what could you say? They've been justified to say that. Y'all ain't protecting us. Y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all kissing master's ass. Y'all beating on us and everything else. Why in the hell should we keep producing your seed? Why? What could you say? They've been totally justified in saying it. They didn't do that. They did the opposite. All that bullshit, they still kept on producing your seed. And now you here today, and then you look back at them and piss on them and beat them up. Boy, you better show up on the judgment with that on your record, or you better not show up at all. I get worked up on that one. So there's no doubt. That's why I'm always looking out for them. As long as they're to be looked out for. I mean, they want to go off and let y'all y'all betray them. That's up to them. But as long as they, right, better not mistreat them. I'm gonna stand behind. I got their back. Like Master Muhammad got my back. I got their back. Right. Like I said, they could have just said F y'all, and what you gonna say? Punch them in the nose? Knock their teeth out? Come on, brothers, that ain't us. That ain't us. But I ain't down on you, I ain't hating on you. I know we went through. We were stupid, ignorant, mass terrorists against our own women. But nowadays, if you're doing that nowadays, you're a demon or a viper. And either way, you lost to us. Because what we got stored for you, I mean, what we got stored for you vipers, you wish you were demons. Because we're just going to eliminate the demons. You understand? But you better read about what Elijah Mama said about the tyrant. I know you don't know about it because not mentioned as black man, it's not for all America, not saved as a rise. None about that. 90% of what the message taught wasn't in any of those books. But you think you got it, so go on with it. Right? So what I'm saying is that how you manage your energy and what Suma had to do, right? It brings it all back together. Because see, they tore us apart. In the tension stage universe expanding, it pulls things apart. The tension was so great that it pulled our nation apart. So we have the power to control our nation. But then we have the power to control ourselves. Right? So therefore, and it got worse than that. Right? Because all our top people were put out of existence. What does that mean? Well, sisters, so much. Okay. There's a story in the Quran says, how do we give life after death? Allah does it. Says, take 4 birds, teach them to climb to you, spread them from all the mountains, and train them, and they come you flying. So that story, you understand the story. They didn't understand it back then because they didn't know about DNA, and ain't that chromosome, like that, yeah. But it's talking about you get 2 pairs of chromosomes from your mother and your father. That's 4. That's the 4 birds, right? It teaches you learn studying, right? Because that's what you are. You're that right? But you the chromosomes and everything, genes, you're a combination. You have a specific combination, just like everybody have different DNA structure, but it's a combination. And when you say your combination is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, you only got the combination. Some else might have 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. We might have 9, 9, 9, whatever. Everybody has a unique combination. Everybody has a unique gene structure. So your gene structure can be, I'll show you again. I'm not going to how you get your memories back, all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying that you have a unique gene structure. And it's not infinite, like you might hear some people thinking, you talking about snowflakes. Yeah, every snowflake is different. But it's not infinite. Anyway, so you got, at least in our case, not infinite, because you got a certain amount of genes and certain structures, possibilities they can be. It's not infinite, right? And so you have a certain specific structure. See? So you got, so remember, the best of us are the most complex of us. So we're the most complex of all the nations. That's why we pull apart. Africa, which is next to us, they're pulled apart as a continent, but not pulled apart as a people. See? And then you got the next one, the Asian people, right? They wouldn't pull apart as much, right? But by language and stuff, but it's still India, basically. But, all different groups, you see what I'm saying? So the more complex you are, the more you're torn apart. So it got so bad that it's pulled apart the gene structure of almost the best. Even the best one. The 25th scientist, his gene structure spread out. He exists, but not in a combined form. Not in a combined form. His gene structure spread out. It's spread out. So he exists in that form. See? But as the universe starts contracting, then it comes back together. So take the 4 berries, right? And you spread out. Then you put all these mountains. Then you call them to come back together. So if they spread out, then you put them back together. That's what it's trying to tell you. So you spread out as a nation, right? So we are segmented here in America, but we're not segmented as we would have been. That's why we put some on these devils. That's the balance, right? Because I talk about that. I'm not going. I'm getting you sidetracked here, right? Maybe I should expound on that, but no, I'm looking on brothers and sisters, right? So everybody, so the thing is that what happens is that'll be the last thing that come apart. See, first of all, it's a land. See, then it broke up into tribes. That's how they found us. We weren't one tribe anymore. And it broke us up as a people over here, and finally, right, they took everything away from us. So step by step, and then finally, we had nothing. Took our minds away. So what the first thing that has to happen? Our mind has to come back together first. Our mind has to come back together first. And then things start coming back together. So it says in 1948, right? That's the first time the Son of Man was able to come back together. Conceive, come back together in one piece. All the genes combinations came together until finally came together. He's back in one piece again. His genes scattered all over the place, come back in one conscious being again. See? Let's see if we can make sense of that. See, this is pulled apart, scattered all over the place. Some of this person got a piece of gene, that person got a piece of gene, this person got all over the mountains, scattered, right? And then when time come, right? See, and it just start coming back. Because remember, it was under tension, now under pressure. Tension pulls things apart. Pressure pulls things back together, right? Push things back together, I might say. Then bam, now it comes back together. That period of time comes back together. See, 1948, genes come back together. See, then what do he has to do? Now he's back together. What's the next stage? That's what he's doing right now. Because, remember, we're one body. But it's torn apart. So the mind has come back together first, then it brings the body back. Even in the womb, the brain develops first, and then it develops the body. That's what's happening, brothers and sisters. See, he sacrificed everything to make this happen. That's not charity. He brings his body back together. But he has to sacrifice everything else to do this. Otherwise, the baby comes out deformed. See? So everything to do this. Bring back a nation back together. Use all his energy to do this. So I have no energy for other stuff. Because it's totally focused on that. So you got a time for all this other partying and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to, right? Because all the energy for this. Because if he do that, that means he's not going to put us all together at a time. So maybe we'll be born without legs, without feet. Right? Blind. Because he got to put his whole body back together, 144,000, just before a time of unprecedented trouble to get the hell out of here. He's got a time frame there. That's what I was trying to get at when I was trying to tell everybody about that term, that calculus term, right? See, it's called a squeeze theorem, where you know you got a certain period of time things that happen. You don't know exactly, but you can isolate you, bring it down to within a certain window, maybe specific or general close. Because the time of present trouble, that's not going to be adjusted. See, Pharaoh can't tell you, hey man, every nation has a term. You can't go beyond that term. That's what he said. He said, the Quran says, but you don't understand it. You can't go beyond that term. And that's it. No, you can go beyond that term. Then he tells you, oh, America got 50. Elijah Muhammad said, America got 60-year extension. They people are really incredible. Oh man, your life is determined. You can't, God, your life is already determined how long you're going to live. And then tell you, how you live, man? If you're doing this here, man, you can extend your life. That's why the problem, even dealing with those Levites over there. I'm trying to get Jacob out of here. Trying to get my people out of here. Right? Lazarus. Because I have so much trouble with the Levites over there, man, because come on. Saying shit like that. And then he said, and he said that, why should I waste time with them? Either fools or idiots, and why should I waste time with them? I didn't make a covenant with them. They joined on, but nobody made a covenant. They said they go through, but they ain't treat Elijah right. I don't know. I don't see them showing that part. So far as I can tell, they're not fulfilling that part of the agreement at all. So why should I fulfill any part, my part, when I made the agreement not with them anyway? Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Let's see what we got else here. Okay, let me show this, and then we're going to close out, brothers and sisters. World War. World War now. They tell you World War now. Right? I don't want to say too much more because like I said, I don't want to give them clues. But right now, they're in an economic war with oil. I told you oil will be the currency or the provoker of this war. And if you watch this latest thing by Rick Wiles that came out right yesterday, September 27th, I think it was, 28th, right? That's what he's saying. He's like he's reading my broadcast. Oil is what's going on. And then they knocked out Russia's oil stream to Europe, which really is going to backfire on them. They don't realize it in a big way. I'm not going to say any more on that. And the retaliation things. And now all of a sudden it connects up to the Middle East. They're doing a war there. I'm not going into any more details about that. Like I said, hey, they say you see your enemy digging a hole for itself. Let them keep digging. Right? So you got balance and perfect balance. See, this is perfect balance. They're equal on both sides. That's perfect balance. You have balance and perfect balance. So I'm going to take it a little further than I did yesterday, and I'm going to let drop it. Now see what happens is, as the universe opens and closes, expands and contracts, that thing, the middle fulcrum, it moves. So that's not, so now you got injustice because it's not balanced anymore. It's not balanced, you got injustice there. And mathematics always has it, what's on one side have to be equal on the other side. Right? On the other side of the scale. But you think the scale always has to be in the middle. No, the scale is universe, all the scales are equal on both sides. That's what the universe cares about. Because that fulcrum moves. That thing, that red thing, that's called a fulcrum. F-U-L-C-R-U-M. That moves. And the universe expands, it moves. As it contracts, it moves the other direction. Right? See? Because the energy changes. The amount of energy you have changes. When you're at maximum contraction, you got maximum energy. But in maximum expansion, you got minimum energy deprivation. See, but maximum, you got so much energy, but you got all energy. Only one being got all the energy. And then you got millions, but they don't have very little energy. See? So the fulcrum move back and forth, moving back and forth. But say both ends, it has to be balanced all the way down the line. Universe, that's mathematics. If it says mathematics, when on one side of the equation has to be the other side of the equation. But that depends on where the fulcrum is. That's where pressure works. See? Because if you like this here, it's out of balance. But both sides are equal. But the fulcrum is different, so there's no balance there. The universe is always balanced. Always balanced. See? So we make sure we stay in sync with the universe by us staying in balance with the universe. Otherwise, right, then there's an imbalance, and that's a corrective force, a corrective force, and that means corrective force means revolution, trouble, and all kinds of stuff. So we prevent that. We keep us in sync with the universe. That's why Suleiman has to show up 22 twice in the universe at the beginning, at the end, to get everything in perfect sync, balance on both sides, perfect balance. He's like tuning up the universe to go the other direction. Because everything is equal at that point. Because as moving to this point, but everything wasn't equal. It was slightly off. Because that's why I said thing in Angel, well, in Revelation, in the crowd rather, a man's degree above women. No, in that scenario, at that balance, that was the balance at that time. But that wasn't perfect balance. At perfect balance, the male and the female are totally equal. That's why sumo can make. That's why I'm saying the flag. Listen, at that point is freedom, justice, and equality. I was going to say something else, but freedom, justice, and equality. Equality. If the female is degree below the male, it's not equality. Equality. Because the female is 180 degrees and the male 100 degrees. Together they 360. That's why Suleiman would take and put it correct. But now it's moved back towards the other way. Now you're going to have an imbalance again. But it's going to be in favor of the female this time, and that's another story altogether. Because the other way was in favor of the male. Right? Okay. And then he gets to the back, and then you got total equality again. Right? Perfect equality. Because at that point, you don't have a male and female gender. They're both equal in one body. They're perfectly equal. Perfectly equal at that point, because both of them are the same, because there's no gender. It's one being. The Christ says only one being in the midst. That means there had to be no gender. There had to be both qualities in both. That means it's perfectly equal inside. Perfectly equal. So he has perfectly equal on both sides. So you turn it up, and then the fulcrum changes, slightly different, right? So that's imbalance. That's injustice. Justice, balance. It's consequence. See? So now it's balance. See, this has happened. See, now it's balance. See, because the fulcrum there has moved, so now it's the balance of the time. So one way of saying this is, if you put $1,000 in, you only get $250 back. If you invest $1,000, you get $250 back. That's our situation. because we gave the devils 1,000 units of energy, busting our ass all day, and he gave us 250 units back. Bad food and everything else, he didn't give us back what we put in, because that would have been justice. Nope, back up. At this point, this is justice. I think I misspoke earlier. That's justice. That's justice, because that's the nature of the universe. That's why Adam was made a rule. There was no consequence if he was doing this. That's why I said we'd be enslaved. He was not being judged for enslaving us, just oppressing us. That's justice right there. Because that's what fulcrum is. That's justice. So he can control us. He only need 250 to control 1,000. All he needed was 250 to control 1,000. But we need 1,000 to control 250. See? It's balance, but it's not perfect balance. That's justice at the time, because it's balance. You understand? That's balance. Anybody would tell you, see, it's balance, but it's not perfect balance. But it's justice because it's balance. So if they did that to us, that's justice. If we gave them $1,000 worth of energy and they gave us $250, that would be justice. Right? There'd be no punishment for that. You would make me shed blood. Hope you understand that, brother and sister. That's not injustice. That's justice there. Right? As far as you is concerned. But look at this. But what if they give us 250, but then we give us 50? Now, that's injustice. See? That's injustice. See? That's what they've been paid. That's the affliction there. But what does that do? We're supposed to get 1,000. But we're supposed to get 250 from them. But they only give. So we're working our butt off. We give them 1,000. And they're supposed to give us 250 back, but they only give us 50. That's the persecution. So they gave us shit to eat, piss to drink. See? So that creates injustice. That's not balance. See? So that means we have to get 200 back someplace else. Because we put 1,000 in, we got to get 200 back someplace else, right? That means they got 200 negative coming to them. Because they're taking more than they're supposed to. That's them. So they got 200 negative coming back to them. So what form does it take? They control our form. So they say, well, it's not going to come back in investments. It's not come back in good food. It's not come back in better treatment, right? See? It's not come back going back. So they close every possible door humanly possible they could control to keep us from getting to it. But mathematics says you got to get it back. They can't stop it. Consequence cannot be stopped. So all the way to come back to us, right, is in our nature. In other words, remember the genes, they come back to you and that kind of stuff. So it was, because your genes, if in our situation, our genes was being diminished, right? Because it's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Energy deprivation means your genes getting weaker and weaker and weaker. You know, in your body, right now, your body, right, what happens is that your body's constantly renewing itself. The weaker cells, the stronger cells overtake the weaker cells, and the weaker cells die out, and that comes out in solid waste. Most of your solid waste is a lot of dead cells. It takes 7 years before you completely renew your body, except for your brain, but the rest of your body renews itself and replaces itself. So whereas you're the same person you were 7 years ago. Your body's totally renewed, your cell structure is totally renewed. It's the same different cell structure you had 7 years ago. Your body's constantly doing that, and if you live a strong life, if you got a lot of energy, the cells get stronger. But if you laying around doing that, eating Doritos and stuff like that, your cells getting weaker. See? So what happened here is that because they were doing this, they was making our gene structure stronger. They can't change it. In other words, they can make it stronger, like you can get better apple, but you can't change the apple to something else. So it made the best our genes as strong as they possibly be, because that's what Dr. Shabazz did, because the hair we had then was straighter hair. But the quality of nappiness was in it. But by stretching us strong enough, he increased that property. He didn't give us something we didn't have. It was in there, but he kept on. He increased that. He brought out that quality. He enhanced that quality. He carried that quality as opposed to the other, and so therefore it became nappy. It had nappiness in it, but it became nappy, curvy until you got to what we have right now. Same thing right here. So what happened is that they furthered Dr. Shabaz's process by doing this because they was bringing creating a cell structure stronger, to as strong as it could possibly be, which confers transformation from coal to diamonds. That's what they was doing. They didn't realize they was doing it because they cut every kind of, because they didn't cut everything else and said, well, y'all get no job, you want whatever. Yeah, then we went out and maybe had a mule and everything. So then we got something else for that. So therefore that process would never happen. That transformation took place because we've been able to go out like right now. They allow you to go out and get a house, a car, kind of stuff. So you cut off that process. Because now you control the quality of energy to some extent. But they control it, so they cut off every door. So only possible is your gene structure got stronger and better. At the same time, right, theirs depends on, they have to control their quality. So that means they become more divisive against each other, or they have worse gene structure, or whatever. Depends on the type of person they are. But anyway, they got weaker. They got negative energy was fermenting itself in their structure, right? So in other words, the American system was getting corroded. It's like termites eating at it every day for the last 40 years until now. What you see, how it's about to collapse. 40 years come down in one day. See, when the termites eat your house up, that's like if it took 50 years to do it. You see 50 years in one day, bam. You see the collapse in one day, but it took 50 years of all that eating to do it. So all the stuff they were doing, that's why you can see it in one day, because all the stuff they was doing, right, you won't see the result of it until 1 year, and then bam, feel all of it. That's why they went out crazy, all that kind of stuff, because it was eating away. What they was doing was eating away at their society, eating away at their structure, eating away at their nation. See, while ours were getting stronger because they were controlling every aspect of how it could get to us. So the only way to get to us internally. So we got better. Well, they got termites. See, eating away. Now you look at America's, anybody sees it's about to collapse. In every aspect of it is trouble. Crime, social, economic, political. You got a political war going right here in America right now. You have a political war going right here in America right now. Anybody pay the news, they got a political war. You got the Democrats and the Republicans. You got Biden attacking Trump and all this stuff. They arrested people, all that kind of stuff. You got a political battle war going. You got a literal political war going in America right now. And you literally got economic war going on in America right now. And literally got a social war going in America right now. We tell you that your kids can take it and drag queens, all that kind of stuff, and you can't do nothing about it. They got a religious war. They already at war here in America right now. It's just, and they're actually shooting. So the point is okay, let's look at this here. I'm ready to close this, brothers and sisters. So you go to a bar. Two people get to arguing, right? Okay, boom, okay, that's a little argument. Then the argument gets worse. Start pointing fingers, all that kind of stuff, now it's getting a little pushy, right? Then you get to fighting, right? Then all of a sudden everybody is fighting. Then what you call that? Start an argument, now the whole everybody's fighting. That's what's going on in America right now, see? Get hotter. And then you get overlap between the politics and economics, politics and crime. So, arguing right now, violent in a second. You always see the violence. More violence in America. Every day you hear more and more about it. You don't see what that means? So I can say, just keep it in them. See? So that's what's happening. Holocaust. See? So who's benefiting from it? We didn't like it. No more the gold. If you use a piece of gold, trying to put you in the furnace to purify you, ma'am. Damn, it's hot in here, ma'am. I'm burned up in here. You won't like the process, but you'll like the result. Because now you come out, you're beautiful. You go. You don't like the process. We don't like the process of Holocaust, but we use it for our advantage. But we come out those that don't get lost for a lack of knowledge, that make it. They sit around being Puzmobiles and stuff. That make it. You're gonna love the outcome. Just like it says in the Quran, it says once they saw the outcome, it says the people said, "Man, for the lack of this, right? Let's work harder. Let's go back and do it again." They didn't like what they were doing it. They said, "For the lack of this, let the workers work. It's worth it." So we didn't like the process. I didn't like the process. Don't like it now. See, I already know what the reward is going to be. And when you get the reward, you're going to remember any of this. This is going to be, like, because when you see what you're going to get as a result of what you went through, you might volunteer to go through it again. Just say, man, because I'm going to get all this. Because you ain't felt it. Once you feel what you're going to get, brothers and sisters, as a result of Holocaust, what they did, it's unimaginable. It's a 72 trillion year journey of getting better and better and better. If you can believe that, if you understand that. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So I think I got one more thing here. And see, here's the consequence. Now, in 1940, we became equal, right? See? So both sides had to be equal. See? But say each one of them was a 250. These brothers are 250, right? See? So you did 1,000, they only gave 250. But now they got to give you 1,000 back. Because for every 1,000 you give, they got to give 1,000 back. They don't like that. Another way of looking at it is that one you control for them. Because they only were 250, right? You 1,000. One you control for them. If they're 50s, right? See, then you control 20 of them. One you control for them. So they do anything to you, right? If one of them does something to you, you can do 3 times, 4 times as much to them. If one of them did something to you, right? They're 250, you're 1,000, right? That means you can do 4 times as much back to them. So at this point, they're defeated, brothers and sisters. The only reason why they're not still here because of self-imposed enemy deprivation. Because long as they could keep getting you, to keep deceiving you, to getting this, getting it, stuff that don't even belong to them. This land don't belong to them. These houses don't belong to them. This stuff belongs to them. But as long as they keep getting you after, going after stuff, right? That means they keep this thing off balance. So they keep the edge. They keep control of you. Okay? Because instead of being 1,000 here, you're down to 250. Because you got 750 worth of junk. Cars and houses and boys and kind of, so you got 750 worth of junk. So you're at 250, so you equal with them, so they got control. They still, or maybe you have maybe it's 800. So now they got $50 worth of control over you. See? Because now you got to work and everything for them. So you got control of you. See, because you work and stuff and all this work, that means we're not free people, but they still control us. We got to work for them. Pay them more, pay taxes. They still have control of us, our whole nation. And demons, they got the demons that keep you convinced that you should stay here like Farrakhan. You stay here. You're not free. You're never free over here. How are you free? You're still in that country. You still bear laws. You're still wearing their names and everything else. You're not free. But you got Farrakhan tell you, no, you're free. Because he's a demon. He's one of them. His father's the devil. That's just, that's what they say less. I think that's it, bro. Says, I just want you to understand. Say, we're at war. This war. The war is at war right now. The war is at war right now. And you don't see it. They're war. America's a total internal war right now. And it's getting hotter by the second. Every time you read the news, how they build that gasoline over here. If Russia's getting on, you think what's going to happen if Russia? They think Russia's not going to retaliate? And I told you about the connection between the Middle East now, it's hotter, and it says Iran won't agree, and they're producing uranium, purifying uranium, right, at a speed, at fast rate. They say they could possibly have a bomb, if they don't have it already, in a couple of weeks. But they already said they will not have a nuclear weapon. That's in stone. Just put the math right there. If they're saying that they enrich uranium so fast that they could have a bomb within 2 or 3 weeks, they're telling you that they could have enough for a bomb in 2 or 3 weeks, but they already said they will not let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about false. Israel saying, America saying, they will not. And put those two together. Can you add it up? If they mean what they say, and I know false Israel means what it says, because if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, false Israel is dead. Because that's the only way else they have over the Middle East, to attack people and everybody else, because they're threatening with nuclear weapons. But now if Iran has it, they can't use that threat anymore. Because they neutralize that threat. If they neutralize that threat, they can lose, because they cannot win a land war over there, because Iran already has an outnumber. Iran by itself has an outnumber 10-1. And they're not that bad, they fight. So this false Israel cannot win a land war with them. And Syria outnumbers them about 2 or 3, 4, 5-1. And the only reason I attack Syria right now because if they have nuclear weapons, they wouldn't be able to attack Syria like they're doing. So if Iran gets nuclear weapons, that neutralizes, because they said if you use it, we'll use it. And just take one bomb to knock out false Israel. They're not big in the state of New Jersey. Just one knocked them out. So that's why they cannot let them have an existential threat. So if they tell you that Iran is racing towards getting enough rich uranium to make a bomb, and they say they're only weeks away, and they already just said they cannot have a nuke, they will not be allowed to have a nuclear weapon, do the math, add it up. How long before they have to attack them? And then what's going on in Russia? And then what's going on in China? They threaten that Taiwan more and more every day. Ukraine, worse every day. And Vladimir Putin is threatening nuclear war. Threatening. And then he blew up his pipeline? You think he's not going to retaliate? So if you don't see what war Bill says, I don't know what you see. So that's up to you. Because we don't want no dumb ass people, and we're not taking to them to the promised land. And I'm saying one last thing about that, brothers and sisters. Some of you don't understand. Some of you think you're just going to roll up on the promised land. I keep telling you, there's pressure. If you got a weak mind, you're not going to survive in the promised land. It's like somebody walking around here, man, is retarded. Man, you want to be walking around like that? That's what you're going to be. You're going to have to build your own homes. You're going to have all the material and everything to do it. But you have to build, I keep telling you, you have to build your own hereafter. You have to build your own paradise. Nobody's going to build it for you, but you have to have the brains to build it. Nobody's going to come and figure it out for you. So and that's why you got the angel. I told you, it's a mental gym, because you have to overcome that. That's why I say, you overcome. You have to overcome the angel to bring a level where you can survive and prosper in the promised land. Because if you less than that, you're not going to be able to make it. You need to be understand what's going on. You're walking around in a trance. There ain't going to be no PI for you. Nobody's going to sit down there and push you around in a wheelchair. Nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to push you around. You'll be totally independent, but you have to bring about yourself. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. I think some people don't get it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Let me just think it through for a second here. Is there anything I need to cover else? I think that's it, brothers and sisters. If there's more, I'll do it another time. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.